We got Unit 4 in the house, and yes, you are welcome to come on down and have a drink, sir. We got Rich B in the house. I'm drinking some bullet bourbon this evening. Guess what? It's raining in Virginia. Surprise, surprise. Got that good old cloud seeding going on. Oh man, it's a mess. I don't know if this is true or not, but all the flooding that we had here in Texas, and I'm okay. I'm not close to it. I'm about 5 hours away. 4.5, 5 hours. But man, they were supposedly there's a tracking plane that does cloud seeding that they've got the map going all around that area the day before. So I don't know. That's crazy. Matter of fact, the company that has tracked the map or whatever was that guy that was on Sean Ryan. Watched it or been interested in it, but yes, Dirt Track. We're going to be reading that this evening. It doesn't exist. It was all a fairy tale. There were two people put in jail against multiple criminal charges, but they have nobody, no witnesses, but they were put in jail. But yeah, they can't tell us what they did. So that makes no sense. I wondered that from day one. I'm like, how can somebody be in jail and you haven't gone over what they did to so and so or what they're put in jail for, the evidence, the list? None of that is tracking. So I don't know. That's been weird, but yeah, that list doesn't exist apparently now. Hello, Mario. How are you? Hope y'all are all doing well. Yeah, we've got a list of topics. As y'all saw, my title is Unicorns, or Searching for the Unicorn Gun. So, and I'm going to kind of get into that here in a little bit. But cheers, everyone. First drink of the evening. That was a big drink. I needed it. I'm right there with Unit 4. Definitely needed one. Matter of fact, I've been looking forward to this drink because I don't drink a lot, but I've been actually looking forward to this drink pretty much all day. I'm like, can't wait to have me a drink. Can't wait to have me a drink. But yeah, I've had a lot of questions asked because there's some new guns that came out, and oh my gosh, what do I think about it? What, blah, blah, blah. Am I going to get it? Two in particular, but we'll get into that. But we got 16 people on, or 15 people on, 3 thumbs up. Hello, Armsman. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring you up here in a minute. Yeah, Armsman and I chat just about every day. I'm doing like some long drives, probably like hour plus drives sometimes. And I call him, and it's always good to chat with a good friend and make the day go quicker. Yeah, that was one of them, Armsman, that I'm going to bring up. Matter of fact, everybody always asks, what are you carrying this week? What are you carrying this week? Might as well get that out of the way. I'm carrying the custom Glock 19X in an Armsman holster. So if you're needing a great holster, and it does have the TLR1 HLX, or excuse me, TLR7 HLX, the little bit longer one with 1,000 lumens. I love that light. And it is in the Armsman holster. And you can use my code BJGG10. And that saves you 10% off, and you get free shipping from using that code. He makes outside waistband, inside waistband. Money on it, that's for y'all. But, definitely go over and support a good holster maker. I love his holsters. Mario says, look, brother, the ultimate uniform gun is a CZ, the most accurate gun I own. Yeah. If you can see above that sign up there, it says CZ Mafia for life. CZMFL. So that's what that stands for. Yeah, I love CZ. But, and this is what I was talking to Armsman about even today. There's people out there. I'm not going to name the group, but y'all could probably, well, I will. You got SIG groups, you got Glock groups, you got CZ groups, you got 2011 groups, you got all these fanboys. Okay. And if something goes bad or they have a problem with something, sometimes they won't even admit it because they've bought the gun. I've bought my guns as well. But I guarantee if a CZ shit the bed, hell, I've already let loose of a staccato, way back when, my original C2, the frame warped after 5,000 rounds. I did a video. I mean, I'm up front. I don't hide anything. If a CZ took a shit, I would tell you. If a Glock took a shit, I would tell you. If something took a shit, I would tell you. I'm not, just because I bought them doesn't mean I'm financially, I can't ever say anything bad about that. I mean, I've bought cars, I've bought, other expensive things and shit the bed. So I'm going to tell you, I mean, all this, oh, I bought it, I'm invested in it, so I can't talk bad about it. That's horseshit. That is completely horseshit. But yes, one of the guns we're going to talk about is the CZ P10 ported, P10C ported. What do I think about it? I think it's awesome. Would I buy one? Probably. Barrel. I like how the sight is moved behind the port. Really pretty much the same lower all the way across, which I like. The factory trigger's good, which I like. It's optic cut, but it doesn't have the plate, so you have to buy the plate. I get that. I wish it did come with a plate, but it is what it is. But do I think it's a good option? Yes. Do I think the prices on them right now are great? Yes. You're getting a lot of bang for the buck you're still with a port and everything and optic ready, you're still under a Glock. And I like Glock. I'm not hating on Glock. I'm just saying that gun, the P10C in total, the whole family, P10C, P10F, it's so underrated. It's so underappreciated. What's up, Scott? How are you? Hey, Brian on the go. How are you, buddy? He says, please hit that like button for Big Johnson. Drop by to say hello, my friend. Well, hello, Brian. I appreciate you. Aim point P10C ported model, fairly inexpensive. Yeah. I think it's a great option. Scott says, got to handle the new P10C ported model. The general, it hurts my, blah, blah, I get it. And then my P10F is less, or, it's less aggressive than the two P10C original ones. And then I felt like even a later one that they came out with, I guess, not too long ago, and it's even a little less. So, and I'm figuring that's probably even what they're using the ported lower. Is it better than most still? Yeah. There's some that don't have crap on them. So, and this is going to lead or CZ into, porting the Nocturne and porting the Shadow 2s and maybe the compact carries and the carry. They're going to probably exploit the hell out of this with all their other guns, which is not a bad thing. Scott says, also don't like how the earlier generation magazines don't work in it. Yeah, with the dual cuts. But that was quite a while ago. I still have some of the original ones, and I just use them in my old Gen 1s. But when I, got the newer ones and stuff, I got the Gen 2 mags with the 2 on each side. And it all has to do with the mag release. The other one, the original one, you push it and it would work on both sides. This one only had one cut. But now they made it to where it's left or right. So they had to do the dual cuts. So I get that. It is what it is. Hell, at least they didn't go in and completely change mags. And the good thing is it is compatible, with the PO7s, the original PO7s. Now the new Nocturne, I believe the base plate might be different. But, it is what it is. So, but I think that's a good option. The pricing is pretty awesome. I think that's going to take off. But is it like revolutionary? No, it's not revolutionary, but it's cool. We got 16 people on here, 9 thumbs up, so y'all punch that thumbs up. And the PO7, PO9 work, yeah. Just, you need the longer mag. Of course, you can't run a PO7 mag and a PO9 or a P10F. But the commonality of the mags is a good thing. So All right, we'll mark that one off. And again, like I said, I'm carrying the 19X this week, and everything's great with it. No issues, no problems. Holster's working great. Core belt's working great, so no problems there. Um, Enjoying it. Been a little while since I've carried the Glock, and I just pulled it out, and I'm like, I'm gonna carry it this week, so that's what I did. What's up, Checkmate? How are you, buddy? Glad you're here. Rock Chalk's in the house. Good to see you. Cheers, everyone. Got a little bullet bourbon. David Rapp, do you recommend the Desert Eagle 44? I've shot it. It's the Desert Eagle 50 and the Desert Eagle 44. I mean, they're cool, I guess, like for the nostalgia or that kind of stuff, but really not. I mean, it's nothing I would own. I've shot them, both of them. Actually multiple 50 AEs. It's cool. Some of them don't function properly. They'll have stoppages, but it is what it is. If you want one, I say get one. I always tell people to get what they want. Brian and the Ghost says, any advice on a pistol red dot for shooting steel? Let's see here. For shooting steel without in your eyes just over target. SRO Holosun 507 competition other. I actually recommend the Holosun 507 competition. I'm really liking that dot a lot. It's got the huge window. You've got multiple reticles. You can get it in red or green. If it's an RMR footprint, which is very standard, you can have it milled for that. Or if you have a gun that, like a Glock or something that has the MOS, you can get an RMR plate. I do prefer direct milling if possible, but I mean, I think it's a great dot. I haven't had mine for a million rounds or anything, but so far so good. I mean, it's a huge window. I mean, that's the great thing about it. And if you're going to shoot it for competition, I would highly recommend it. I don't have any experience with the new Vortex, but they came out. A lot of people are liking them, but I've also heard of failures, the electronics, kind of wiggling loose. So I don't know that firsthand. I've just seen videos that it's happening. And I haven't seen that with the 507 competition. Not saying it couldn't happen or hasn't happened. I just haven't heard of any videos with that, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I like Scott, I like super aggressive everything. I know some people don't, and I understand that. Even when I carry it, people are like, oh, it'll scratch my supple belly. If you have, yeah, could it scrape it? Yeah, just don't be a puss. Let's see here. Oh, Rock Chalk, I was saying I like the P10C ported. I think it's going to do very well. Jackson says, good evening. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you, too. Nuclear says hello. With the sun in your eyes. Okay. It really doesn't, and I haven't shot. I've been out in the backyard with mine, and it was bright. I haven't physically shot out in the sun with it yet. But I did aim it at the sun to see if you'll see the dual dots like you will on the SRO, and I didn't notice it. And I was in direct sunlight. I even turned around so the sun was hitting this way on it, and I didn't see the dual dots like I have before on the SRO. I'm not saying it's impossible if you get this weird sun direction, but the SRO, I got that quite a bit. Now, I still like the SRO, but when I shot competitions with it, I did see that double sun or double dot thing before, but in this certain instance that I did with the competition in the backyard, I didn't see it. So, but could it ever happen? Yes. I mean, I'm sure it could. Oh, Armsman says his Vortex Defender went out, sending it in for repairs. Yeah. Well, microphone's cutting out? Huh. Okay. Rich B says, any experience with rust preventative storage bags for gun storage? No. I haven't I haven't had anything rust up, so I'm really not sure on that. I use the dry silica bags. You can get them on Amazon, like a big old freaking monster pack of it. You can get the big ones or the little ones. I even have a big one up there that I keep next to my carry gun because it stays in the holster. Um, I haven't had any problems with that. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but how's the economy here? I'm in Texas. We're rolling. Brian says, I knew you would be the one with the dot experience. Thank you. I like the 507 comp price compared to the SRO. Yeah. Oh, the price. Yeah. Holoson's way cheaper. And honestly, I think I have 3 or 4 SROs. I only have one 507 competition. But if I want a big dot, that's the dot that I'm going to be buying going forward, is more of the 507 competitions, just to have the big dot. Scott says, I will never buy an SRO. I know people that got bad ones right out of the box that didn't work. I did have one, if you remember, and I told it to everybody. I had one SRO that did fail. I had laid it in the safe, and I went to pick it up, and it was like stuck over in the right. And I'm like, what the hell? I tried to adjust it, lining it up with my iron sights, and it wouldn't move. And I'm like, what the hell? So I called Trigicon, and they said oh, we have seen that. It's very rare, but we've seen it. So I sent it in during the time. And anyway, they had said that it's called a reticle detachment or reticle separation. That was their term they used. And they said it's where it just kind of loses it and goes, it'll go up to the left or right or bottom or whatever. It just kind of like breaks internally and causes it to do that. But they ended up replacing it. They were going to fix it and do all this other stuff. And that was a 5 MOA. And I was like, because I tried the 5 MOA, I had the 2 5s. And I was like, if you're going to replace it, can I just get a 2.5 instead? And she was like, sure. So they sent me another 2.5, and I'm happy with it. It hasn't had any problems. Like I said, I've got 4 of them, and I had that one problem with them. But what's crazy, and I've got tons of Holosuns. I haven't had one problem with Holosuns. I had 2 Delta Points Pros take a shit from the past. I had a little cheap, dot that they sent me, or some company sent me. And I played with it before I even did the video, and it took a shit, so I didn't even do a video on it. It's in a box somewhere. But as far as reputable ones, and I haven't had any problems with my Acros, and I haven't had any problems with my Steiners, the MPSs, but those are smaller dots, the enclosed reticles. Hello, Boomer. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Man, this whiskey's good this evening. Whew, I was looking forward to this. Got 20 people and 12 thumbs up. Y'all smash that thumbs up. Brian says his smaller Holosun battery, shorter life than the SRO 2032 battery. Actually, I have a lot of the dots, the Holosun dots, and they have the shake awake, so it shuts off. And man, I did my 507, the 507C, the original one, with the little side tray, not the big window, not the competition. And I tested that. I did it on purpose. I did it for like 2.5 years on the little battery, and it lasted. Now, granted, was I picking it up a lot? No, but I was carrying it. So every time I'm walking with it, when it's in my appendix, it's lit up. And when I'm driving with it in the appendix, the truck's vibrating, so it's on. Because I've looked down at it and it's on. So, but no, I haven't noticed any degradation or anything like that with the smaller battery. Would I prefer a larger battery on all mine? Yes. But all the smaller ones I have, they've worked fine. Says the new O-Sight SE will hammer nails with minor scratches. Oh, yeah, okay. Like I said, they reached out to me multiple times, but I don't, and I'm not saying if you want one or if you own one, I'm not beating you up or anything, but, they might work great. I don't know. But I'm not, I just, told them no, I appreciate it, but no. And it all goes back to the past when I had problems with their lights. So, some people are like, oh, you're bitter. Well, screw me once or screw me twice, and that was 2 that failed on the lights. You know, I'm done. There's other shit out there that I really, really, really like. And I'm telling you, this new Streamlight HP, the TLR1 HPX, that thing is so freaking impressive. I even went out and played with it again the other night. I did the video, and that video's been blowing up. But I went out and played with it again the other night, and I'm like, I just can't believe how nice that light is. I mean, it's super, super impressive, you know, for a bigger weapon light. I think they knocked it out of the park with that light. Yeah, Scott, I figured it was coming. Yeah, about the Harbor Freight getting sued. Hell yeah, Streamlight sued them. Dude, that's a blatant copy. I mean, a blatant copy. You know, and even in our manufacturing process, we've had China copy some of our products, and we've sued them. So yeah, that's a blatant copy. But you know, and I've even had a lot of people. Y'all can go watch that video. There's comments. When are you going to test the Harbor Freight? When are you going to test the Harbor Freight? When are you going to test the Harbor Freight? And I'm like, I'm not going to buy that thing. I mean, why would I buy it? And I'm not saying if somebody can only afford $50, they shouldn't buy it. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm not the guy just to buy something. You know, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but I think it's a waste of my time. When I've tested the TLR1 HLs, I know they're proven. The TLR1 original one, I have the one when it was like, what, 300 lumens from way the hell back. It's in the bottom of my safe somewhere. I've got the 600 lumen one, the way back before the HL. I've got several of the HLs. I mean, they're proven. I haven't broke any of those. So why do I want to buy a $50 light and say, how does it test against the, you know, Streamlight TLR1? I know a lot of people want that, and a lot of people are looking for that to justify a $50 purchase, but I don't need it. I got plenty of lights. And I don't want to buy a, you know, knockoff of another company now that's going to sue Harbor Freight, because I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Red Menace shooting, where the hell have you been? Holy crap. Goon beam. No, there's several that where they've knocked it off, but they've done like little changes. Like if you look at the, I think it's what is that? LP. It's that company. I can't remember their name. They're out of Los Angeles. It's that LAP something. You know, they always send out thing. We got stuff on sale. They do a lot of knockoff stuff. And they've got a TLR1, but it's got like these vents in the side, and it kind of looks a little different. You know, there's different changes that they've done but it still fits in a TLR1 holster. I mean, Harbor Freight flat out knocked them off and didn't change anything. I mean, flat out. Harbor Freight made a killing with those lights. Seems like an influencer launched with all the vids. Oh yeah, some of those videos have stupid viewership. LA Police Gear, that's it, Red Menace. Yes, look at theirs. They've had it out for a long time, but it kind of has like these thick vents in the side, but it still fits in a TLR1 holster. Goon beam lights are bright as hell. Yeah, he's had an increase in his prices. Yeah, I've seen the Goon beams, but I mean, I'm not saying they're bad or good or anything. I haven't tested any of them personally, and I'm sure, you know, they're probably fine. But like I said, you know, I've got brands that I stick with, you know, as far as like holsters and, you know, lights. And, you know, I'm not the guy that's going to buy 50 different brands of lights where they're all similar and just say, hey, let's have a battle royale. You know, I don't see a reason for me to do that. If somebody else wants to do it, that's cool. Exactly, Scott. Yeah, they were just enough, you know, to do it. And that's like myself in manufacturing. We've had companies flat out come and completely rip us off. And there were no changes. And so we sued them. And we won. We sued 3 different ones and won all 3. But again, is somebody going to knock it off the next day? Yeah. I mean, like when I go to all these shows and I've got a booth or something set up, I mean, they're coming by with little spy cameras, and they got a little, it looks like a pen, and they got their little camera. You can see it if you know what you're looking for. You know, and they're looking around and just taking pictures. Every time they click that, it just popping pictures. June saying Arriba, Mexico. No, this is America, man. We are America, brother. That's cool for Mexico to be Mexico, but we are America. It's hard to sue a company that's in China because you'll never be able to win. Yeah, we sued. They are in China, but they're conglomerate. They're like a big conglomerate. That's like what a lot of people don't realize. As far as all these little knockoff China dots, it's like one conglomerate, but they have all these different branches that poke out, and they'll have like, Ottawa and, all these different, lights and or dots and lights, but they're all pretty much under that same umbrella. So people that are in the know, they'll go after the conglomerate, like the main hub, where all of these little branches go off of, and that's who you have to, take your foot to their ass. Mike saying hi. Hello, Mike. Hello, Rabbi. How are you, sir? Hope you are doing well. The other gun I've been asked about is the new Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 comp. Am I going to buy one? And the answer is no. Not saying anything's wrong with 380. I know a lot of people like 380. Not saying a word about that. But if y'all saw that picture where I put the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, it was like this big in my hand. It's freaking tiny. Why would I want it? If I was looking for like a super, super teeny tiny gun to stick in my pocket, great, or in a coat pocket, great. But it's just not super functional for me and my hand size. So I don't really have a reason to have it. But people that have the regular 380 and shoot it and like it and it works great. I already know one person I'm not gonna drop the thunder, but I know that they've ordered one. So, and they're excited about it. I'm sure it's a great little gun. I'm sure it's going to do well. And another reason I wouldn't have that small of a gun is because I personally can't put a dot on it. Now, can I shoot irons? Yes. Is my vision perfect like it used to be? No. So I would much prefer a gun that I can at least have a dot on. And that gun is so freaking skinny. I don't know even if you put like a EPS carry, if you milled it and put it on there, it's still going to overhang that thing. So yeah, I just don't. It doesn't work for me. Rabbi's saying Glock 34 looks little in Big J's bear paws. Yeah, when I shot I have a Glock 34, or I had one. I don't have one anymore. A ported 380. Yeah, I guess if you want to shoot it fast, ports and comps definitely help. They're underrated. Even if you have some weird little tiny hole, it's going to be better than nothing. But I think just because you chop a hole in it, there's some guns where, like I've got some comps that I've put on guns and I shoot them and I'm like, this comp sucks. Then I'll take that comp off and I'll put a real comp on that same gun and I'm like, yes, this comp works. So just because you take a piece of aluminum and cut a bunch of holes in it doesn't mean that it's functioning properly. If you go back and look, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. It looks cool, but this comp sucks. It's like 10% of what this other comp's like 40%. So, or 30%. So there's some that suck, some that are good. Unifor says maybe it could be a tie clip gun for you. Yeah, I don't need that. Rabbi says, I married a woman with small hands to improve my self-esteem. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, my wife's really tall. She's got, she's very petite, thin and everything, very attractive, but she's very tall and has bigger hands because, she's not as tall as me, of course, but, I like a tall blonde. Yeah. Banned from Heaven says, say the wisest quote you know. Don't invite a one-legged man to a butt-kicking contest. How about that? Jackson says, my girlfriend has bigger hands than me. There you go. People are different. A comp could be good though. Plenty of people get 380s for their first pistol and don't realize they're explosive in your hands. I would agree with that. That could help like a smaller petite man with small hands. That could help him handle it better. A younger person, a female, a person with like arthritis or hand issues. I mean, like I said, anything that could help. I don't see a reason in saying, "Oh, that's stupid." I don't see that at all. Thanks, Band from Heaven. I appreciate you. You have a great evening. So the Bodyguard Comp 2.0, I say if that's what you want and you want to rock with it and all that. I mean, I know my friends have the Bodyguard 2.0 and they love it. It's been fabulous for them. So, I mean, could a comp be any worse? Probably not. Maybe even better. Maybe even better. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Pranic. Like I always said, find a good woman like a jet engine. If she sucks, squeeze, bangs, and blows, she's good to go. But I didn't want to say that. Didn't know if that's a little child. But, like I said, I don't really hold my tongue that much. So, yep, she's a keeper if she sucks, squeeze, bangs, and blows. Kind of like a turbine engine or a combustion engine. Let's see here. All right, let's get back to it. The title of the chat. Pop Doctor, what's up, man? Have you ported any of your CZs? Was thinking about Monsoon Tactical, doing some Lucky Sevens. Also, the Pop Doctor. He does YouTube channel, or he had a YouTube channel. I didn't know that, and I was recommended to check out his CZ Shadow 2 video. And he's kind of a storyteller. Thought it was pretty cool. So go over and check out the Pop Doctor. He's got a small channel. Go over and show him some love. Very nice guy. I mean, I don't know him personally, but seemed pretty cool in his video. He said that he's watched my videos, so that's cool. But he's liking his Shadow 2 Compact. So I think that's pretty cool. He says, have you ported any of your CZs? Was thinking about Monsoon Tactical doing some Lucky 3s on a CZ Shadow 2 Compact. Have a MT Gingdas comp on a staccato and it bangs. Yes, there's a lot of people that do it. I thought about doing it. I'm going to buy a second Shadow 2 Compact because I like my other one so much, and I probably will do that. I've played with ported comps or ported guns in the past. I don't currently have one, but I don't think there's a damn thing wrong with it, other than you are going to lose some velocity. So just be aware of that. And the shorter the barrel, usually it definitely affects velocity. If you have a longer barrel, it doesn't as much. If that's a big thing, or depending on your ammo that you're running, it could impede opening correctly, but not that big of a deal, honestly. So I say do what you want to do. Impact Machine does great work as well. If you want to use a code, I don't get paid on it, but it's BJGG10. That'll save you 10% off any custom work, milling, porting, any of that if you want to use it. Whatever you want to do. But I've got something out at a shop right now. I don't want to get into detail of what it is. They've already received it, so I am going to be customizing another gun. I think I mentioned it before, but it's officially received. They have it. So y'all will have to stand by for that one. Oh, Armsman, yeah, I sent Armsman Pop's video. I was like, check this guy out. Rabbi says, smash that like button, break your screen or mouse. Do it now. Thanks, Rabbi. Make room by selling me your 97B. The 97B is not going anywhere. It's just not going anywhere. I love that gun. Part they don't make them anymore, so I definitely. But it's going to be passed down to grandkids and stuff like that. That's another reason I just don't buy. I'm not trying to be rude, but guns that are just budget cheap, I just don't buy them. I used to in the past. I had a shitload of them, but I don't need them. I want guns that I can appreciate and pass on to others to appreciate, that will last and that you can work on, you know. Norwood says, "What's up, Big J and Chad? Hello, sir. How are you doing?" Frankie says, "Hope y'all are good out there. I've seen the weather greetings from, yeah, that weather is crazy. I have friends that are close to that area, but no one that was impacted directly. Very close to that area. That's crazy what was happening in Texas. That is crazy. Limit on CZs? No, I mean, I like CZs, but you know, I mean, that's the thing. I'm not. I mean, I've always had love for CZs because they've never done me wrong. But I mean, I like staccatos. I like Glocks. You know, not that I'm a Glock fanboy, but I mean, I'm not. I don't just have like 15 Glock 19s. I'm not that guy. I like having different guns. And there's nothing wrong if you have 15 Glock 19s. If that's your jam, that's your jam. Pranic says Big J is getting his 320 fixed. No, man, screw that gun. Not hating on anybody, but yeah, MK3 Firearms on Instagram does some really nice supporting jobs. Yeah, they do some nice work. Pass it on to you and you'll appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's a, man, that gun is a nice gun. Super fun. I mean, great gun. Plus, I love 45. Some people don't appreciate, or, you know, they're like, oh, 45's dumb. I get it if that's you. But I really appreciate it for a good 45. Rabbi says, I'm probably going to get that HK subcompact. It's calling my name. Yeah, a lot of people like it. What is it? The what is it? CCP or something like that? I can't remember the damn name of it. I've got a buddy that ordered one of those too, just to test it out and run it. But a lot of people like that gun too. I mean, I think they were late to the party with that gun, and I wish it held more rounds, but, you know, I know a lot of people are going to like it. And again, if that's the gun you want, please buy it. CC9, yeah. Hello, A. Barnes, how are you? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. If that's the gun you like and that's the gun you want, buy the dang thing. Hello, Drew. Hope you're doing well. Is the Glock 19X a good shooter? Been a 1911 user for years, been looking at it lately. Yeah, I love my 19X, and I'm not even a Glock guy. Now, I will say this. My 19X is not stock. I did a lot of customization on it to make it the way I wanted it. And with the Ramjet, chef's kiss. I mean, really opens that gun up a lot. Really woke it up a lot. I like it even more. Drew says, hit the like button, thumbs up button. Yes, I would appreciate that. We can launch the H one there. Hello, Lake Ozark guy. How are you? Rich B says, any tricks on how to get a stripped round off a torque screw out of a grip? Yeah, if you have an easy out, you can use an easy out. What you can do is you can take a soldering iron and heat up the head. You know, because it might have just kind of welded itself in there. You know, apply some heat to it with a soldering iron, get it hot, then use an easy out and try to take it out. They do make easy outs for the Torques as well. Prentick says 1911 guy should be looking at CZs. I agree with that. And I'll say this. Dula says you own the 19X or the 19X MOS. Mine was a 19X, but I had it milled. So there's no plate system or anything. So I really, you know, that worked well. And yeah, CZ is a great gun too. If you're looking for something like that, the P10 is very underrated. I just, you know, I do like I said, I've shot stock 19Xs, and when I had mine as stock, it wasn't bad, but I was just like, man, this gun could be so much better. So I spent more money and got it the way I wanted it. You know, so it's a very expensive, you know, Glock the way that I did it, but I appreciate it and I enjoy it. So that's what it's all about. But let's get back to the title of the chat, Searching for the Unicorn Gun, with a question mark. And here's where I'm going with this, and I've kind of been hinting around with it in the chat. searching for the unicorn gun, I hear people, oh my God, I gotta have that gun. Oh my God, I gotta have that gun. Oh my God, I gotta have that gun. Okay, is that gun revolutionary? Does it do anything different than your other guns? Does it? I mean, if it's a Tupperware gun, is it better than the gun you already have that's a Tupperware gun? You know, probably not. You know, you're going to get it and you're going to be like, oh my God, this gun shoots amazing. You know, because it's the newness. It's the newness. Then after that wears off, you're going to be like, I think I shoot my old gun better. So what I recommend before you have to buy that unicorn gun, where it's not a unicorn gun. Now, what I mean, you know, there's different versions of unicorn gun. If it's like a hard to find gun or like a piece that you've been trying to find for years, like an antique gun, I get that. But if it's a gun that's readily available on the shelf, that's not a damn unicorn gun. It's just a gun you saw an influencer say, oh, this is great, you gotta buy it. You know, and honestly, it probably won't outshoot the one you have that you've trained with. So, does a unicorn gun actually exist? No, because unicorns do not exist. They don't. Again, I'll rephrase that by meaning if it's a milsurp gun or, you know, like a gun you've been trying to find from Miami Vice that they don't make anymore and one comes up for sale and you've got to have that unicorn. I understand that. But if it's something that's on the shelf just sitting there collecting dust, it's not a unicorn gun and it's not going to change the world for you. So there you go. So plan accordingly, save your money and buy something that is going to make you a better shooter. Or, and like I've been saying now, if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket, buy a dot, buy a light, buy a good holster, buy a good gun belt. You know, buy things that can make it better for you to carry and train with and get used to than just running out and buying another gun. Or, I'll even better you that. Yeah, Bren 10 is a cool gun. Or better that than that. And this is what I always say. Take guns that you have that you love and you know you're going to keep and send them out to somewhere to make them even better or modernize them. I've done that with 1911s. I've done it with CZs. I've done it with Tanfos. I've done it with, you know, I've done 2011s. I mean, I've done it with all different kinds of guns because I know that gun works for me and I love that gun, but I want to make it my own or better for me. You don't have to, I'm not saying every person needs to take and customize a gun. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if it's going to make it better for you to enjoy it more, invest the money in that gun and not a new gun, your unicorn gun, because that's probably not going to change shit for you, is where I'm trying to really say. Yeah, remember folks, if they were actually good, they would be rare. Yeah. Hello, DB, how are you? Let's see here. Pop Doctor says I have an Alien and a Sandhawk. Those are cool guns. Those are both much different shooting experiences than anything else I've ever shot. Alien is the weirdest, coolest thing I've ever shot. Yeah, and I've shot an Alien. But here's the thing. I took an Alien against my CZ TSO. I took an Alien against my 2011. And I shot the exact same groups. Exact same groups. Same ammo in both. Same day. It didn't really do much for me. Now, is it cool? Did I like the experience? Yes. But there's also and I've said this before, there is, and actually Humble did a video after I talked to him about this, there is a diminishing return on a gun. If you've got a $3,000 gun and it shoots awesome and you love it, and you test it against a $7,000 or $8,000 gun, and you, not a professional shooter, but you shoot them exactly the same with the exact same ammo on the exact same day. Is there a reason to spend $7,000 versus the $3,500? Not really for me. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate really expensive guns, and I've had $7,000 and $8,000 guns. Do I like them? Yes, I do. I can appreciate them. And I used to own them. I sold some of them off. But, should everybody run out and buy those guns? No. I mean, it's not going to make you better. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, for a professional shooter who can squeak out those little bitty tiny things, yeah, I would say it could. But not for me, no. And I'm just a normal, ordinary guy. I guess unicorn guns are what we really wish we could have because they look cool. But once we own them, realize it's a waste of money. And I'm not saying it's a waste of money. But what I'm saying is you buy the gun that gets you the warm and fuzzies and, makes your sticker peck out and all that stuff. And I said that on purpose, not drunk. Sticker peck out. Or puts the lead in your pencil. So you go buy it. And you're like, oh, shiny, new. And you shoot it. And then you compare it against other guns and you're like, it's the same shit that I already have. Because it has lipstick on it or it's shiny or whatever it might be, lipstick on a pig. And then you're like, damn, I just wasted $600 or $700 on that gun when I already have another $600 or $700 gun that does the same damn thing. I don't see any uniqueness in that or a collectability of that or to pass down for that. I just don't. Arnsman says, unfortunately, the only models I have many variations are of both 320s and 365s. Sig and their variations. If I knew then what I know now. Well, if you remember, I was preaching to you, brother. We talked about that today. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you, good sir? Pranic says, my unicorn is a 7.5 FK Bruno because I have no reasons to own it. I love it anyway. No, I agree with you. There's cool things. God, me and race cars, back in the day. Oh, I need that blower. I need that. It's cool. And I'd gain like 4 horsepower or, but I spent 10 grand, to get, I'm joking about 4 horsepower, but, I spent 10 grand to gain, 30 horsepower. The Pop Doctor says I'm a little faster with the Alien than anything else. Yeah, the trigger's great. But agree, and this is what I was saying, if you have a really good 2011, and that's what I did, it was a 2.5 pound trigger. So I had a really great 2011 that I compared against the Alien. And I could run them fast, same groups, everything. That's what I'm saying. So, triggers come into play there. If you're comparing a Glock against an Alien, it's night and day, But, it is great. It's a cool gun. And it's a lot of people's unicorn gun. So, because and I even told my buddy owned 3 of them. He bought 3 Aliens, but he also had like 5 Atlases. He had Corvettes. He bought really crazy stuff, which is cool because he enjoys guns. But I would even watch him shoot, and he could shoot some of his basic guns just as well as he could the super high-end guns. And nothing's wrong with that. And if you want it, you want it. If you can afford it, you can afford it. I have nice shit. I don't like cheap shit. I'm just being honest with you. So there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, I agree with your comment, Rabbi. I definitely agree with your comment. But if you got a 10 and it's a 10 all the way around, that's a good thing. Lynn Holt says, well, the old guys with their 1911s are not much different than the revolver guys are on another plane. You're exactly correct, sir. You're exactly correct. The Bull Armory EDC I bought used has a 2.5 pound trigger. Yeah. And that's the cool thing. You can take any 1911 or 2011 and you can make the trigger better. And that's what a lot of people, they're like, oh man, I bought an 1811, it's got a 6 pound trigger. If it's got the ignition kit in it that you can adjust. Some of them are crap. And T-Sauce, they make some, I'm not saying, and yes, they're not MIM. Okay, but there's a difference between forged and tooled, true tooled steel that can be sanded and, like the sear, if you can do some sanding on it and make it better, you can. But some of that old forged crap that they use, you can't do that. It'll actually, when you're trying to sand it, chunks will come off where it won't on tooled steel. Rabbi's insulting someone. But That's what I was meaning. I'm not trying to, hate on anybody that goes for the latest and greatest. I know a lot of YouTubers do that, and I'm not hating on them. Where they're like, hey, this is a new gun, and they're showing it to you and things like that. That's cool. But they're like, oh my God, you've got to get this gun. Use the link below. It's like, man, you're getting paid for that. It's a freaking ad, so stop it. And also, it's a gun. If you go back through their history, they've never even tried that freaking gun before. And all of a sudden now it's the best thing since sliced bread. And they're like, oh, they sent me this gun, so now it's the best in the world. People have sent me guns, and I get to keep them. Not a lot of them, a few. But I put it in there, hey, they sent me this gun, or whatever it is, paid promotion, to let you know. And I say in the videos, hey, this was sent to me. I'm just testing it. And I even say, I get to keep it, blah, blah, blah. But, I let you know up front. I'm not, and I see some where I know it's an ad where they were given that gun for free and they don't say that. And I'm like, you need to say that. You need to say that. And we all know the one that's really, really bad about it. There's actually two people that are really, really bad about it. They don't say they got the gun for free, but they did. I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but, we can call a spade too. Don't bullshit people. Be upfront. Jackson says, I'm guilty. My Rock Island 1811 is cheap, but I like it. That's all I can afford during the day. There's nothing wrong with that, Jackson. And also, you can take a Rock Island that you enjoy and that shoots great for you. And that's awesome. And after you master that gun and you want it better, Hayes Customs takes Rock Islands and makes them incredible. Now, they cost money to have it up, have him go through it. But he is a artist with a Rock Island, and he's out of Texas. Man, I've played with some of his guns, and they are legit. And they're Rock Islands, but after he goes through them, they're freaking butter. I think it's like, for his basic package is like $600, something like that, $600 or $700. He dehorns everything, because that is one thing about a Rock Island. They're sharp as shit. I've gotten gouged and been bleeding from shooting them. But he dehorns everything. He tunes the trigger. I mean, he makes it freaking nice. And he'll make it run more common mags, because sometimes they can be very finicky. But yeah, I mean, Rock Islands, I'm not hating on those guns. And if that's what you can afford, this is not you got to buy an expensive gun chat. That's not what I'm talking about. There are some great guns out there and that's kind of where I'm going. You can buy a Masterpiece Arms for like $3,200. And you can buy an Atlas for $7,000. Is the difference worth the squeeze? For me, it's not. Do I like Atlas? Yes, they make beautiful guns. They're awesome. But for me, and my shooting ability, at my age, and my eyes, it's just not worth the squeeze for me. Could I buy one? Yes, I could go buy one tomorrow. Not a problem. But I just don't, I'm just trying to guide people, I guess, maybe a smarter way, for the average person. If you're a competitive shooter and you're trying to eke out those last little seconds, could that help you? Yes, it could. It's balanced differently and things like that. That's not what I'm talking about for the average person. I'm just an average guy. I'm nobody special. I'm not a fantastic shooter by any means. And it kind of goes back to when I do my shooting. Do I put holes in holes? No. And there's a reason. Could I sit there and take my time and be like, bang, bang, bang? Yes, I've done that on video. I've shot 15 rounds and they're all, in the holes. That's boring to me. Because if there's 15 rounds in one hole, what can you do? Cover that up quickly. But if I shoot 15 rounds and it's this big, you can't cover that up. I'm gonna make your ass a strainer. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it so they can't fix your ass. That's what I'm gonna do. In a nice way. In a very nice way. We got 30 people on, 23 thumbs up. I appreciate those thumbs up. If you haven't thumbs up, please do if you enjoy the chat. I'm not begging for it. Also, uh, and like I said, I've got that gun out right now. Reached out. Something going crazy here in a minute. I guess it was some kind of alert or something that popped up. Um, you know, but oh, and also, yeah, it cut off because there was some kind of Amber Alert or something that was coming across. And back to the Pop Doctor, he's saying, I shot my buddy's Mac DS9 next to my Staccato, literally the same. Buy what you can afford and train. That's exactly right. And I will say this about the Macs, and that's where I was going with earlier. On some of that, the sears and stuff, you can't sand on them because it's that hardened it's that inferior metal. It's not tooled steel, where it's easily sandable to get super, super light trigger pulls. But here's where I'm going with that. You can buy a Mac DS9. You can buy that. Then you can buy the EGW ignition kit. I think they're like 200 bucks, I believe, something like that, 250 maybe. Put the ignition kit in it where it's tooled steel. It's the whole firing control. Put that in that gun, and it's great. It's great. And maybe like a guide rod spring, to tune it a little more. So that's what I'm saying. Those are great, great project guns, and you can buy that gun like right now they got them that OD green one. I think they have it for like $6.99 doll hairs. I got to say that. And buy the EGW ignition kit, put it in that gun, and shit, you're in it for under $1,000, and it's freaking great. And you can take it off and you can polish. You can make it really light if you want to do it. If you want to spend the time to do it, you can do it. And it's not that difficult to put that stuff in. It is some fitting, you might have to do some polishing here and there and some fitment on the grip, but man, I mean, that's a great project gun. It's a good gun to get into, but you can make it better. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to spend the $5,000. Now here's the thing. A lot of people say, what is a great gun as a 2011 to buy where it just works and you won't have any problems with it? It's a Staccato. That's kind of like the Glock of 2011s. You can buy the base all the way up to the expensive ones. I think that's the middle of the road for Staccato, and you can even make it better. So, but yes, you can buy cheaper, but I would definitely recommend ignition kits to get the good tooled steel. Lynn Holt says, I picked up a fun project, a Springfield mil-spec compact. It was built in 1994 as a 4-inch barrel and a unique bushing with a Clark plug. Learning a lot from a rather aged piece. It ain't pretty. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's really cool. And that's what I enjoy too. That's what I enjoy. Like I told you, y'all haven't even seen it yet, I don't think. But I have my very, very first pistol. And it was like a 1911 type. So, I'll do a video on that. A lot of people have asked me about it. Thanks, Pop Doctor. Have a good one, man. And if y'all didn't hear me, check out Pop Doctor. He's got a small channel on YouTube. Go over and give him some love. Yeah, and like I said, and also, Staccato's from Texas. And originally, and this is from Staccato, me personally talking to them. I've been to their plant and their facility and all that, and talked to their gunsmiths personally right there at the door. Really, really nice people. And, originally when they started Staccato, they were trying to buy all their steel and everything within Texas. Now, I don't know if that's changed. It very well could have to get all the materials they need. But they were trying to kind of get everything from Texas. So that's another reason I supported them, because I'm Texas. So, I, want to support my own state. I get it. Y'all probably do that too. Go Horns, because I think they're hopefully Arch is gonna kick some ass this year, hopefully in the SEC. I'm a big college football fan. But like I said, and I try to support people that I like their products, such as Armsman, such as Lock Grips. I'm not just whoring out shit. And that's another thing why y'all don't see a lot of like, buy this, buy that, here's the link, here's that. I only show links to companies that I have a lot of experience with and that I believe in, and I trust their business practices. I don't just throw up a bunch of horror links. I'm just not that way because I make an affiliate price off of it. I'm just not about that. There's four or five links that I hardcore believe in and that I'll recommend to people. Other than that, just go check it out. Who has the best price? Buy it. I have Primary Arms beating me up all the time. I have Optics Planet beating me up all the time. Oh, put this link out, put this link out, put this link out. And I'm like, I don't believe in that product. And, I'm not hating on anybody, but Optics Planet has not done me any favors. Yeah, I've had personal problems with their shipping and all kinds of shit. So that's why, I'm an affiliate for them, but I don't even recommend them. And I'm not hating on anybody that does, but me personally, I haven't had good luck, so I just don't do that. So, yeah, the new Primary Arms dots. I want to see it in person. I'm excited about seeing it. It is an expensive dot, but it is all made in Texas, and that's cool. But damn thing's like $700. And if I like it, I might buy it. And I'm a Primary Arms affiliate. I wouldn't get it for free because I'm not a big channel. I'm sure some people will, but it won't be me. Lynn Holt says, I'm sorry I can't support Beretta or Smith and Wesson here in Tennessee. Yeah, there you go. Hello, Abigail. Long time no see. I hope you were doing well. Chattanooga, cool. Been there. Abigail has been busy. Man, it looks like we're going to be getting some weather. Exactly. Man, Rabbi hit that on the head. Tennessee, with the exception of Memphis, is great. Yes. Memphis is a whole different situation. Man, that went too quick. Golly. Now we got to go to water. Of course, representing my orange. Noodle says, we in the man cave or what? Yes, this is my man cave, and y'all probably can't see it, but there's something right up there. What's up there? I want to get those eagle eyes and see if they can determine what it is. What is up there? I'm giving you the point. Let me know if you can tell me what it is. Abigail says, been dealing with too many idiots for not enough money. I hear you there. Yeah, we say the same about Houston and Austin. You were exactly right. And Dallas. Frantic, you forgot Dallas. Rabbi says, work hard and you get nice toys. Yeah. Nerf gun. Yes, Nerf guns are awesome. No, I'm joking. I don't even own a Nerf gun. Hey, I do have something, though. And let me know if y'all want to see it. I have an OG. This thing is old. It's super old, but it's like perfect condition. Perfect. Not a scratch on it. An antique Daisy BB gun. Anybody want to see that? This thing is old. And it's an antique, and it's also not a normal one. This is not a normal Daisy BB gun. It's actually pretty cool. Anybody want to see that? No, I don't have Ninja Stars. Ninja Stars are for pussies. I use a gun. You are correct, Abigail. You are correct. You are correct. It is a 300 blackout sitting right up there in the corner. Abigail, look at that. She got those eagle eyes. Yes. Any notches on the buttstock? No, not yet. No, I don't have a cannon. Actually, I used to have a golf ball cannon where you could put a golf ball in it and shoot it about 300 yards. Okay, Pranic says, let's see the Daisy. I want one so bad. Yeah, the Daisy is pretty damn cool. I think it's from, if I remember correctly, I think it's noted on there. I still have the tag, but I think it's from the 50s or 60s. But it is pretty cool. It's got like a special sight on it and everything. And you know, I even thought about going out and taking on some squirrels out there in my backyard. I got a bunch of squirrels. There's a whole, if y'all have seen when I do the light reviews, there's a whole bunch of trees, man. And I have like 9 million squirrels that run across the fence. And they run across the roof and try to chew on my roof and all that. But 22 gallon gun, yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know what you're meant. Gatling gun. Uh, yeah, oh, and this is another thing. Up there on that one, the reason why that one's out is I did put a new grip on it. Put a new grip and I put a new hand stop on it that I'm testing out. And I bought them. They didn't send them to me for free. But it's made for big hands. And there's a huge difference. I've got detailed pictures. There's a huge difference between these grip sizes. So if you got some big hands, these might be the grips for you. But I'll do a video on it. Y'all can check it out. But yeah, these grips so far only dry firing around the house and things like that. I haven't shot it yet, so I really do want to shoot it before I officially do the video, just to see if there's any difference or what I'm noticing. Because the grip, you know, and I had the K2 Plus, that was kind of my go-to grip. But man, this thing swallows that K2. I mean, I can get a really good grip on this thing, so I'm kind of excited about playing around with it. And so far around the house, just dry firing, I really like it. Never shot it yet. A car 98K. Huh. I had the car, what was that? What was that? The car C11 or whatever, I can't remember. It was the 9mm one, and I hated that thing. The trigger was trash. I bought it, you know, and shot it, and it was freaking horrible. But I'm not saying yours is bad. I haven't shot a 98K, so I'm not super familiar with that one. Oh, World War II, that's cool. PM9. Mine was I think mine was the CM9. Yeah, I've got some 8mm. Do you have a gun that you totally regret getting? Yes. I don't have it anymore. The Sky, whatever that one with no safety, it was a piece of shit. That thing was freaking horrible. I wouldn't recommend that to my worst enemy. It is the biggest piece of shit that ever walked the face of the earth. The Skies are trash. I would not buy one of those. The original Canic with the little push decocker on the top, that thing was I mean, it shot good and it did well, but Canic they were idiots. There was a recall on it. They wanted me to pay to ship it in and then me to pay to ship it back. And it was a recall. And I'm like, screw you guys. So I got rid of that piece of shit. And yes, SIG. I've had more problems with SIG than any other gun. Me personally, not a lot of people. I'm not, you know, if you like yours, you like yours. I'm just saying me. And I've got a lot of them documented on videos. And you can see it. I'm not making this shit up. The Sam Thunderbolt SF. Totally jams and very picky with ammo. Oh, and some of the high points back in the day were pieces of shit. I don't know about the new ones. I didn't own one, but I shot a buddy of mine and it was a complete piece of shit. Matter of fact, he dropped it and it was made out of zinc. It was so cheap. When he dropped it, it broke the whole back of the gun off, literally from dropping it. And he only dropped it from about probably waist high on concrete, and it snapped off the whole literal back of the gun. Just broke off perfectly. I think it's made out of zinc. I think that's what the slide was made out of. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's guns that can give you problems and stuff, but those are ones I would stay far, far away from. Is the Sky, um, that I can think. Oh, Phoenix. Any of those Phoenix? The earlier, what are they? Those little bitty tiny. Oh crap! I can't remember the name of those guns. Not the Phoenix Trinity. That's not what I'm talking about. It was Phoenix Arms or something like that. They were pieces of shit. But it is 8:10. Any other comments or anything y'all can think of? But the unicorn gun, back to the comment of the chat, or the title of the chat. If it's something you really want, buy it. But if it's a polymer wonder and you have a polymer wonder, is the new polymer wonder going to change the world? Probably not. That's all I'm saying. Maybe save your money, buy some more mags, buy some accessories, buy some training, whatever you want. But that other gun is not going to make you a better shooter, more than likely. Now, if you're getting into a 2011, you're upgrading from a Glock to a 2011 trigger or 1911 trigger, that is a difference. But plan accordingly. That's all I'm saying. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Unicorn lower by Spike, yeah, I remember that one. Did somebody else have the unicorn lower? I don't think it was just Spike. Somebody else did a unicorn lower too. Was it not PSA? Oh, was it No, not Primary Arms. Somebody else did one with a big unicorn on it. I can't remember who it was. Dexter says, what about a Fix or a Honey Badger? Those are great guns. I've shot both of those. I haven't owned them personally, but I've shot both of those, and they're actually really good guns. I think they work great. The only thing about the Honey Badger, I will say, the suppressor goes up under the handguard. When you shoot a full mag through it, it kind of rapid. It gets very, very hot because the suppressor is right under the handguard. So just be aware of that. You could put a hot pocket on it or something like that, which would help a lot. But if you're going to run rapid shots a lot, just imagine the suppressor goes under the handguard, so it definitely gets warm. But the Fix is a hoot. That thing is a lot of fun. So, but anyway, it is 8:12. We'll go to 8:15. So we'll go about 3 more minutes. If y'all have any other questions or comments or anything like that, let me know. Man, we got 23 people in the chat and 29 thumbs up. So I guess some people bailed, and I appreciate those thumbs up very much. I guess we're going to be getting some weather. My wife's out putting the covers on the patio furniture. So, and it definitely is getting dark, and I'm hearing some thunder. So we're probably going to get some weather here. Dexter says, I know now they have the mini Fix and the boombox. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've shot the Fix, the full-size Fix. I shot that in 6.5 Creedmoor. It was cool. But the mini Fix is the fun one. The mini Fix is a lot of fun. The 308 Fix, because it's a light rifle, it's not that it's bad and it's going to knock you off target, but it does have some kick just because of the weight of it. I have not shot the boombox, but that thing looks badass. That's what y'all need, is more rain. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of rain where I live. So, we've had some, but not anything like that flooding crap they've had in Kerrville. That's horrible. That is horrible. So we could use a little rain. Hopefully I don't want to get the turd floaters where we get flooding, but, it is what it is. Hopefully it's Mother Nature and not cloud seeding. And this is probably going to get demonetized because I said that word, but whatever. YouTube hates me anyway. But anyway, so we're looking at 8:14. We will go ahead and shut this bad boy down. But I appreciate y'all as always. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that after the chat, please leave them and I will answer them. Hello, Mateo. But also, like we're saying now, love one another. If you haven't talked to a friend or, they might be going through a tough time, reach out to them, say hi. Just check on them. That can mean the world to a lot of people right now. Because it's, some people are in bad situations, so definitely reach out to them. Also, if you want to show some love to some of the companies I support, Lock Grips. If you need any grips, rifle stands, pistol stands, anything like that The discount code is capitalized, all capitalized, BJGG10. That will save you 10% off lock grips. Use Armsman holsters. He's got great outside waistband holsters, inside waistband holsters, and it is BJGG10. That will save you 10% off and free shipping. Also, for any milling, custom builds, anything like that, optic plates, you can use Impact Machine. And my discount code is BJGG10. That saves y'all 10% off any of those items or services. What else do I have? I use Core belts. I really like them. KORE belts, gun belts. I have a discount code with them. It's BJGG10, I believe, and that'll save you 10% off. You know, so, and Links Defense, I have links. You can go check out bags, but it's a different link. It's a link you have to press. But you can get some nice rifle bags and stuff like that. Some of those do help me. Some of them just help y'all. But I appreciate y'all as always. Always great to see everybody on here. Thank y'all so much. Y'all make this happen. But I appreciate y'all so much. Have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. Love one another. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all have a great night.